Hello, David. I'd like to purchase the vacant land that you have listed online next to 7 Brew on Sunshine Street in Springfield, Missouri. I got you on the phone the other day. I was talking to Curtis Jared for a sec, and he handed the phone over to you, said you're running lead on this one. And thanks for answering questions about this property and telling me about it. Can't do drive-through operations on this property, but the way it's set up, it's graded out, it's got the utilities, it's got the driveway. I think it'd be a great location for a kind of a 2-unit retail takeout shop. There's a couple different brands that I like to work with that like to use these kinds of shops. I've got other 7 Brew properties that I'm working on. I'm always trying to figure out what goes next to 7 Brew. And so you've got this land next to 7 Brew, and I have been working on that in other properties in other towns and other parts of the country. And as a part of this offer, I'm asking for some time to go talk to the tenants that I believe go next to 7 Brew. I would like to show them this property. I would like to offer them the financing to build the shop for them. And I would like to show them the data that I've put together of how much business they should be able to do here next to the 7 Brew and the other shops that are happening in the area based off of the customer counts that are going to these shops and how much money they're spending in these shops and how often they're returning to these shops. Customer profile that I've created out of the data of these customers in the area that should go to this shop. This profile matches other profiles for customers in other parts of the country where there's 7 Brew shops and other shops like these ones around here. And they point out what other shops that these kinds of customers are going to and they're returning to on a frequent basis that are not located here, that should be here, that could be here. And those names resonate with me. I've done deals with those people. I would like to do more deals with them. And I would like to show them this property and offer them the finance to make it really easy for them to move into this property. I'll build it for them, deliver it to them, and just make it really easy for them to go work here. But I'm asking for some time in that offer that's attached to this video with the proof of funds and my contact information to go talk to those tenants and get their approval. I want them to say, yes, Luke, let's do it again on this location. I like your numbers. I like what you're saying. I like to grow my business. I like to make more money. I like to make it really easy for them to make more money. And that's how we can make this property happen. My name's Luke Smith. I'm passionate about real estate. I've done lots of different real estate deals all across the country. My biggest passion is for high traffic retail, finding brands that can use these properties for vacant land, for vacant buildings, and putting them together and adding value by putting the tenant together with the property and turning that property into its highest and best use. I'm passionate about that. I found that sector. I found that niche by doing lots of different land trades. I started buying desert squares in the middle of nowhere because that's what I could afford. And I started adding value to those things like splitting them up, getting access, getting easement, getting roads, getting utilities, getting different things, finding them on a map sometimes, adding pictures, those kinds of deals, and going and offering them for sale on owner financing. And I did that from $500 properties to $1,000 properties and $500,000 and up kinds of properties. And along the way, some of those properties that came through as I kept collecting more properties and going to work on them were high traffic retail properties. And those are the ones that caught me dead in my tracks. I couldn't figure them out. Those were the hardest ones to move. And it turns out a lot of other people have the same problem. They have a hard time figuring out how to use high traffic retail properties. I didn't know what to do with them. I couldn't sell them. I tried broker after broker. I tried auctions. I tried marketing, I tried social media, I tried all kinds of things. I started reaching out to owners of properties like them. I started reaching out to tenants of properties like them. And that's when it started to click. When I started reaching out to tenants of properties like the ones that I had, that had the same kinds of personas, studying data and more data, it started to click. Those properties started to sing. The people that wanted to be the users of those properties, they knew how to make them happen. And when I started delivering those properties to those users, different buyers would show up. The buyers would be some anonymous, faceless, nameless, an ABC or a 123 kind of name, and they would offer me cash for the property. And it's probably the landlords of the other properties of those brands that I found and figured that property out for. Or their brother or their cousin or somebody in their network. They know they can use that property. They call Mr. Moneybags to go pay off Luke Smith and run with that property. And I kept seeing that, and it's like, why can't I be the one that runs with that property and create the lease and take it all the way to the market? Well, I've studied that and worked on that in multiple different ways. 7 Brew is a beautiful one that eats up a lot of real estate. I love doing deals with 7 Brew and other coffee shops like that. But then it's about learning who goes next to 7 Brew when you get more than enough land for a 7 Brew. That's where I figure out the other properties. Now I can come back to the market and look at properties like yours to do this one too. And so if that interests you, take a look at my offer. Feel free to ask questions. I'm here. I'm easy to talk to. Let me know how I can help. So if you're interested in that data and approaching that kind of data, or somebody else is watching this video and they're interested in that data, feel free to take a look at the link that's in the description below of this video. And that will take you back to my little community on the internet where we've got a bunch of like-minded people that like to talk about these kinds of properties, figuring them out, making them happen in lots of different ways. Vacant land, vacant buildings, but all high traffic, retail kinds of sites. And we share contact information, we share strategies, we share all kinds of ideas, and we throw them back and forth, and we learn from each other. So if you're interested in that, it's free. Jump into that community. The link is in the description below. If you're interested in owning these kinds of properties after they're built or while they're happening, or when the leases are all signed and the rent's just about to start flowing, either vacant buildings, bringing in a new tenant, or vacant properties, building a new shop for a new brand or a existing brand to come into the location, I've got a bunch of those properties that I'm working on all the time in the background that I would like to hand off. They're ready to go. It's just about applying capital and time and making the rents and yields and depreciation out into the future off of those. I would like to hand those off to the right individual so I can recapitalize and go back and buy more properties like this one I'm talking about in this video. So this one's funded. I've got the funds for this one, but future ones and other ones like it, I would like to hand off my older, already figured out properties to go do new ones, create new assets. And if that's you, if that's your thing, you like to buy those to collect the rent and not do anything, my contact information's on my website, ruralvacantland.com. You can look up 1,000+ properties there I've traded over time, and you can look me up in county records, most all over the place, for different real estate deals I've done too if you're looking for credibility. Or just ask me. Feel free to throw comments in the comments below in this video as well, and I'll try to answer as many as I can. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This is Luke Smith, ruralvacantland.com. See you in the next one. Bye.